Colonel Wyatt hits the screen, got stories bold and keen. Old soldier, sharp and mean, tells truths they've never seen. Rugby lover with a roar, Africa flowing in his core. YouTube rants they can't ignore, his passion makes his heart soar. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Military mind, keen and wise, truths come out, no disguise. South African skies, in his eyes, hear his voice, no surprise. Retired soldier with the fight, in the dark he brings the light. Angry rants, truths ignite, join the cause, join the ride. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Enemies knocked on his door, trolls attack, but he's more with each click. Watch him soar on the truth waves, he explodes. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Right now, don't miss the brawl.
Take a picture.
Cat got your tongue, now you're on the run, dodging the spotlight like it's loaded gun. The scandal's purring and the claws are out. Cyril's Catgate is the talk, no doubt, 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 doubt. Cat got your tongue, or did you bite it? Truth's in the air, but you just fight it. Shadows creeping like a whispered song. Tell me, Cyril, how could this go so wrong? Paws are silent, but claws leave marks. Hiding secrets in the darkest parks. The chase is on, but the trail's gone cold. What's the price of stories left untold? Cat got your tongue, now you're on the run, dodging the spotlight like it's loaded gun. The scandal's burning and the claws are out. Cyril's Catgate is the talk, no doubt. Footprints fade where the whispers start. Promises break like a brittle heart. The truth's a tiger you can't tame. Can you feel the heat of the burning flame? The clock is ticking, but the hands won't spin. A house of cards can't hold the wind. The whispers roar like a lion's cry. Tell me, Cyril, can you look us in the eye? Cat got your tongue, now you're on the run,
Another day has arrived, and we are still in the same place of disarray. Hope is in the distance. I can see a tiny glimpse of light, just a tiny, tiny light. It is there, I know it. I can feel it in my heart. I have prayed for it for oh so long. I know that it is coming our way. Tomorrow may not arrive. Yesterday has gone, but this I know. Today is gonna turn out just right. Colonel Chris is a ray of sunshine. He has arrived just in time to keep that tiny light in the horizon still burning bright. Our prayers are being answered, so don't despair. Someone we can trust, which has been a long time coming when our hopes were shattered. He is that tiny bright light in the distance. Tomorrow may not arrive. I can feel it in my heart. I have prayed for it for oh so long. I know that it is coming our way. Tomorrow may not arrive. Yesterday has gone, but this I know. Today is gonna turn out just right. Colonel Chris is a ray of sunshine. He has arrived just in time to keep that tiny light in the horizon still burning bright. Our Colonel Chris is a ray of sunshine. He has arrived just in time to keep that tiny light in the horizon still burning bright. Our prayers are being answered, so don't despair. Someone we can trust, which has been a long time coming when our hopes were shattered. He is that tiny bright light in the distance.
Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. Good evening, folks. It's after 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome back to Night Owls. I hope you're all doing well. Another epic day. Many more things going on. Folks, if you're spamming me and bombing me in my WhatsApp and killing my battery on my phone, you're likely not to get responses from me. I'm just saying. If you're a person doing that, and there's a few of you doing that to me, look, I have a life. I have responsibilities. I am polite and respectful to answer people as best I can. Some people are very shy to ask questions, and they're reticent, and then they wait too long. Other people just act like we've been childhood friends. Please be respectful and don't spam me with 10,000 things in my emails, in my WhatsApp, because it's a bit much. Also, I got an awful lot of people become quite demanding in the communications to me. None of you are married to me. None of you are my blood relations. They pop on occasionally. I am certainly trying to be helpful to people, and I appreciate the friends I've developed, but something's just getting a little bit out of control, folks, okay? Now, I haven't complained about this, and I've put up with it for 5 months, and I'm just going to put that marker down tonight, okay? Just ask people to be a little more respectful and considerate. If you send me 85 messages in the course of 36 hours, is either in an email or WhatsApp or on Telegram, and I don't respond to you, maybe I'm a little busy. I work long days, long hours, and I have many responsibilities. Today, I finally had time to focus on getting my air conditioning unit repaired. And it took 3.5 hours, and it took 19,800 Rand. 19,800 Rand. Hey, Army 3275. I'm not surprised you're tired. You've not been well lately. Hang in there. Yeah, 19,800 Rand. $1,100. It was leaking. It was leaking because of the poor quality of water around here. It's natural. They don't treat it, so it's just got lots of minerals in it, which has caused problems in my lines before. So they came and they had to take it apart, and then the valve that comes from the pump was clogged up. That was a problem. The pump was working fine, but it wasn't kicking anything out, so it leaked out of the retainer tray. And then the actual unit outside, the Lennox unit, needed to be cleaned out with some very thorough cleaning, which costs a lot of money. And then the refrigerant was low because it hadn't been refilled in about 10 years since it went in there. So that was $51 per pound. It was 5 pounds of refrigerant, $251 for the refrigerant. $251 for the refrigerant to load in there. Long story short, my air conditioner of late has been running almost constantly, and it's keeping the house cool, but it's just a matter of time before the unit burned out, and then it would cost me thousands of dollars to replace. So unfortunately, they came. It's difficult to get electricians, plumbers, carpenters, and HVAC technicians. There's just never enough of them. These are high-paying jobs. The gentleman here, I asked him how he liked his job. He said, I love it. I didn't have to pay to go to college. I didn't pay for the training. My employer paid for all my training. I certified. I make a great salary. I said, well, we were chatting, and I said, well, don't let me keep you chatting. Before we go any further, let me ask you this question. Am I paying by the task, or am I paying by the hour? He says, no, you're paying by the task. He says, but I get paid by the hour, and I'm on time and a half now. So if you want to chat, we can chat. Just kidding. No, but yeah, so anyway. No, replace the whole thing. Do you know what an air conditioned heating unit costs? That's about $6,000 or $7,000 at least for the unit. Never mind the installation and the withdrawal and then dispose of the other one. Are you serious? No, it's not. They just need to be done. So the valve had to be cleaned. The pump was full of sediment at the bottom, this nasty rust-colored stuff, and it took a while to get that out. And then the line is okay, and had to clean and put the refrigerant in it. So yeah, but to be fair, in order to get a discount of 15%, and in order to get a discount on multiple things with 30%, which saved me several $100s more. It saved me more than I paid. I signed up for a contract for service because I didn't have a service place. So the problem with this is that when you call them, if you get in the line for your queue, for your work order, and someone who was under contract for regular maintenance comes up and they schedule, you get bumped. Well, I was fortunate. I called them yesterday during the rainstorm, and they came today. It was a shocker. I was hoping they wouldn't come tomorrow because Wednesday's my busy day, and I don't have time to hang around with the guy and check it out. So we signed up for a contract, and for basically about $140 twice a year, they come and clean everything. So now I've paid for the whole next year. So that was part of the cost. So it wasn't that bad. But I mean, with minus the discounts, it would have been more. It would have been about $1,400 without the discounts. And yeah, so yeah. Cows keep me busy after 10, says Jack Up. In Minnesota? Might have been cheaper. No, okay. What does work both? No, it's electricity. But the heat is gas. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad it's done now too. And the air conditioner is not running right now. And the room is back to 22. 22 degrees. So yeah. So there could be some benefits to this. Number one is the unit doesn't burn out. It'll last several more years, or many more years. Number one. Number two, benefit is that it's been running a lot and pouring water on my floor and damaging some of my boxes. I had to move in the basement. But that's a minor irritation. But the real thing is that with the air conditioner unit running so frequently during the day when it's hot, I'm using electricity that could be going into the grid and bankrolling me money. So now here it is July. That means I've still got, half of July, all of August, all of September, big energy months that I can make off the solar panels. And so hopefully now my consumption today of electricity will drop because the air conditioner doesn't run all the time as it had to run. It was very inefficient. It was functioning. It was producing cold air, but it was functioning at about 20% of efficacy. So now it's back up to around 90+%. So that's good. 91 degrees in Buffalo today. Wow, that's crazy. Should see less power. Yeah, exactly, Shawnee, which means less power during the day running the air conditioners. Not even running now at night. And it's not exactly cold outside, but the house is staying cool. But during the day, hopefully it won't run so much, and that'll cut down on my consumption, which means every kilowatt hour less that I burn on an air conditioning unit is another kilowatt hour that gets pumped into the grid and earns me money. Yep. That's why I became an HVAC engineer and I hold a BSc in mechanical engineering. Yeah, because you make a hell of a lot more money as an HVAC technician than you do with a bachelor's in mechanical engineering. Oh, my goodness. 2 furnaces and 2 air compressors. Brutal. That sucks. All right, guys. So how's it going? All right. You are a ray of sunshine, says Nicola. Thank you very much, Nicola. I appreciate that. Checking and see if anyone's gotten their call yet. Oh, yeah, Army. Yeah, lots of people gotten their calls. So today an odd thing happened. I had a few people call me, not several, who missed their call. And then they didn't call back, and they panicked, and they sent me messages. And then later in the day, it was a few people. Most of those people wrote back and said they did call me back. We rescheduled. So, yeah, it's happening. So, yes, people are getting their call. So, just hang in there. Let's not panic, okay? Also getting messages from people who said, well, I was one of the PRM people. I've never been called. Well, so were 70,000 other people, brother. You think they've contacted all those people? No. Yeah, but my friend has been contacted. Well, he's lucky. You weren't. Yeah, but maybe it's... No, there's no maybe to it. You don't know how they're picking people. I don't know either. Supposedly, the rumors leak that they're doing it at random. I have no idea how they're doing it, and I don't know if that's true. It really doesn't matter how they're doing it, because it doesn't matter how they're calling people. Let me ask you this question. What good does it do to know... For instance, let's make this up. Let's just make up a total situation, okay? Let's say that there's some cheesy guy who's involved in this, right? And he's going through all the cases of all the people who sent the PRM emails in, okay? And he's going, I want to hook up with Burmese. So I'm only going to call Burmese who are under 30 and over 22. Let's go through the database and check. Ooh, here's 3,000 names. So he's only calling Burmese. I mean, okay, if that's true, are you going to change what you are? Are you no longer a 55-year-old dude with a beard? Now you're a 26-year-old Burmese with 36-inch hips and a 22-inch bust. You can't change that. You have no control over that. What if they decide suddenly that they're only going to take the cases that Indians have applied for, and the rest of you can just wait? Are you suddenly an Indian now? Are you standing here beside yourself trying to explain why you're now no longer an Afrikaner and no longer a colored person? Now you want to go to the front of the queue? You can't change that. You have no control over it. It doesn't matter. It benefits you not to know. It benefits you. It disadvantages you not to not know. Look, it's easy for me to say this because I'm not grasping for something that you want. So it's easy for me to say that. But I'm just trying to rationalize and explain to people, just, you have no control over these things. Put your statement of interest in. And I'm getting so many people, I'm starting to disbelieve people. Well, Chris, I think that I gave the wrong number when I sent it in. Should I send another one? I'm not trying to make light of people, but I'm getting dozens of those emails every day because people haven't got phone calls. Well, I'm just going to stop answering those things. I don't know what to tell you, folks. You're not going to listen to me. You're going to send it again, gum up the works and piss them off. And, that's your prerogative. I mean, how for fuck's sake did you send in the wrong number? Such an important thing in life. You're not going through the statement of work and doing screen captures or taking photographs of things you put on the screen as you go through it. Who doesn't do that? You think you sent the wrong number? Seriously? This isn't signing up for a porn site. This isn't signing up for a retail site on the internet. This isn't signing up for a subscription for Cockprod24. This is the most important decision you're making in your life. And you're telling me 4 months later, well, I think I put the wrong number in because they haven't contacted me. I'm almost ready to say something very insensitive at this moment, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say it because it'll hurt people's feelings. Okay? Folks, I can't believe that you're that careless that you put the wrong number in. I can't believe people live in places where they have no cell signal. I've been in South Africa. This is why I have multiple carriers and I have a dual SIM phone when I go there. This phone holds 2 SIM cards. Samsung. Dual SIM. What is this? I forget what it is. Anyway, A9, I think it is. A9. Yeah, 2 SIM cards. MTN and Vodacom. Every time I go to South Africa. Because some places one works, the other one doesn't. So, yeah, anyway. All right. What have I missed here in the chat? We got some stuff to talk about tonight. Casper, Samantha, Tom, Dougie Ray, Nicola, AJ Quinn, Dogzilla, Belinda Roberts, Karen Long, Casper Labaskakna, Arnold Neveling, Tercia Muij. That's an interesting name. Belinda Roberts. Johann Oberholzer from Mahalisberg. Ah, I love the Mahalisberg. The cradle of humankind. Dogzilla's here. Caitlin Emerencia. Xavier Grayling. Mandy van Rooyen. Suman Thierry Rao. Welcome back to you. You are... can we do a video call so I know it's really you? Why? Petrus van der Linde. Hello to you. Syncmaster 99. Oh my goodness. Have I got everybody here? Momo, Bugger Off Bunny's back. I missed him. Okay. And Jacob, I already mentioned earlier. And then Bloodkop is here. Washington State. Washington State. Maze wants me to stop asking so much and stop being so demanding of people. Shawnee's here. Gail Karan. Welcome to you, Gail. Okay. We should email Chris some sleep music videos that are 10 hours long. Caitlin, 85 minutes. That's just one account. I have several here that are just driving through my phone. I've got a lot of unanswered ones. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 calls that I didn't answer from people that I didn't ask to call me. My phone's on silent, so you shouldn't take offense to that. But if you call me and I don't know you're calling, then I'm probably going to miss your call because I'm not expecting it. All right, who else we got there? 787 Dreamliner. Mark are here. Mark, good evening to you. Happy Slappy. Happy Slappy. Happy Chappy. Keep your Chappy happy. Mike Byrne, excuse me. Good morning. Things in South Africa like this. It definitely depends on one's sense of humor. Yeah, definitely a good sense of humor. There, okay. Should they filled in several times? See, Dogzilla, that's what we call trolling. You're trying to be a smart ass. It's not funny. Please, can everyone just be patient? The call will come. If you apply, just go on your life and watch the Colonel. He'll give you the updates when he gets them. There you go, Belinda. Thank you for that. Yeah, please hit the like button. We got 166 people and just 76 likes. That means that 100 of you are freeloading. 89 of you are freeloading right now. By the way, I watched the WNBA tonight. Caitlin Clark off. She looked very bad until the fourth quarter when she picked it up, hit a three-pointer, her first of the night, only her second of the season, I think. And on the road, and in Connecticut. They're actually in Boston. Sold out. I thought it was a Boston Garden, I think it looked like. But anyway, whatever the case, Caitlin looked great until the last moments of the game, and she looked like she pulled her groin again, and she was in agony. So that kind of sucks. Yeah, it looks like she probably won't play tomorrow. I'd be surprised to see her play tomorrow. Okay, so, all right, if you're going to give me money, I've already read that question. Thank you for the $2. Okay, Philip Swanepoel, hello to you. Good heavens, people are so darn presumptuous. Oh, people are very presumptuous. When this refugee thing started, I mean, I got people calling me at 2:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5. No consideration whatsoever. It's so disrespectful and rude. I mean, I should be asleep at that time. And of course, I was working very hard. If I didn't see it on my phone, some of those times I was asleep and I saw it the next morning. And people are like, and they call me persistently, as if I owe them something. I don't get that at all. Where okay, look, I mean, I had a small channel, 20,000. And we had a small number of people that were in contact with me regularly, probably a few dozen, plus all the people that I interview. That's dozens more. But then that just exploded because people shared my number on Facebook groups without my authority, which is it's a violation of the law, not just in South Africa, but also here in America. Well, people did it just the same, and I got inundated with these things. Mark says, cheers, Colonel. Opinion on the new package being voted on in the Senate. Are you talking about the $9 billion cut, the rescission? Yeah, well, they're going to exempt PEPFAR from it. So, I mean, I don't know. Look, I'm okay with PEPFAR, but I'm not okay with it continuing. I think it should be reduced. These countries need to start taking responsibility. It's 22 years. It's ridiculous. Will I be paying for people sticking their wiener in the wrong place without protection 25 years from now when I'm an old man? No, that's not fair to me. People need to be responsible. PEPFAR is the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. In 2003, the Bush administration, because he was a conservative, born-again Christian, he said that somebody needed to do something because AIDS was HIV is blowing up like crazy in Southern Africa. Like we predicted, but small-minded, tiny penis people like Thabo and Becky called us racist because we pointed out the factors that would lead to an explosive growth of HIV in Southern Africa amongst heterosexuals. But he just called us all racist because, we were commenting on the sexuality of black men. No, we weren't. We're commenting on the dangers of HIV. But of course, HIV is caused by poverty, AIDS is caused by poverty, not by HIV, is what Becky said, tiny-minded little individual he was. So the president, George Bush, created a program. I was actually at the time stationed in Washington, D.C. Well, at Fort Meade, then Washington, D.C. at the same time, that same year. 2004, I moved to D.C. So I didn't move. I just started driving there. So the president created this program called the President's Emergency Program for AIDS Relief. His plan was to spend $3 billion per year to fight HIV. Now, let me put this in perspective for you. From 1980s under Reagan through Bush, through Clinton, the United States government spent something like $642 million total on HIV/AIDS. $642 million. From, say, 1984, when the virus was discovered as the cause of AIDS, from 1984 until 2003, so 20 years, we spent $642 million. So basically, 20, whatever it is, anyway, divided by 20. So that's what we spent over 20 years. Bush proposed spending $3 billion per year for 5 years for a expenditure of $15 billion to help people around the world fight the AIDS contagion. Now, bear in mind that 85% of this money was spent in Africa, and most of it was spent in Southern Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Swaziland, Namibia, Lesotho, where the real problems were. That's where most of the money went. But money went to Thailand, money went to Haiti, money went to Ghana, Ivory Coast, but most of it went to Southern Africa. So with no thank yous from the world, no thank yous for our generosity, that program was incredibly popular bipartisanly. Democrats and Republicans jumped on it. So the $15 billion that was authorized was actually wound up being $43.5 billion. They added money to it every year. Congress, the bill would come in, the president, here's the $3 billion for this year. They added money to it. So over 5 years, we spent nearly $45 billion. Nearly $45 billion. Wow. That's a big jump. So most of that money, as I said, was spent in Southern Africa. And what do we get for it? Called racist by the likes of Ibrahim Rasool. Yeah, and Mcebisi Jonas. That's what we get for it. And attacks on our national interest by the ANC. So that program, it was a 5-year emergency program to help these countries bridge the gap between their lack of resources in 2003 and the expectation they would be self-sufficient by 2008. Here we are in 2025, and we're still spending billions of dollars per year. That program has now spent north of $135 billion. It is the single largest foreign assistance program in the history of mankind, dwarfing the Marshall Plan after World War II. Yet nobody freaking knows this. Nobody thanks us. Nobody's grateful. Over 40 million people are alive because of the United States intervention. That's conservative. That's conservative. We have prevented over 40 million deaths by intervening with this money. Yet we are shit upon by one country in Africa after another, by the UN, by the World Health Organization. Without us, all these people would be dead. South Africa has the world's highest HIV population. Over 8 million South Africans are infected with HIV. Botswana is one of the countries that took this seriously and worked assiduously to reduce their dependence on the program over years. When I arrived in Botswana, the year before I arrived, the budget for Botswana was $89 million to help them with HIV. It dropped to $62 million, I think, that year. And now it's down to almost nothing. It's only a few tens of millions. In other words, Botswana has taken over almost all responsibility. At the same time, the prevalence rate in Botswana went from 38.5% of the adult population, 15 to 49, 38% reduced to around 12%. Botswana took this seriously. I was there. I was part of that success. I helped that success. I helped the awareness, built HIV counseling testing centers, provided antiretrovirals, provided training, prevention. The problem with the program from the beginning was the gay community. Not everyone, but these annoying gay activists. So I went to a Kaiser Foundation event when I was stationed at the Pentagon. I went to that in D.C. when this program was going on, after it had been out for several months. And at the program, we had Edwin Cameron, the South African High Court judge, Constitutional Court judge, Edwin Cameron, who's gay and has HIV. He was there speaking about this. And what do we hear from the audience? The typical annoying activist gays, not gay people aren't annoying, these people are though, getting up, well, this program is so wrong, it's so wrong. They're spending $1 billion on prevention, $1 billion on care, and $1 billion on abstinence. We shouldn't have to have abstinence. Well, dude, maybe if there was abstinence, you wouldn't have the problem you got. But anyway, so they were whining. And so I got up at that thing. I said, excuse me. I've heard several people complain about the Bush administration spending $1 billion on abstinence, 1/3 on abstinence, 1/3 on prevention, and 1/3 on care. What are you crying about? That's what I said. People just turned around and looked at me. So what are you crying about? The U.S. government spent $642 million over 2 decades on HIV. The Bush administration just gave you $1 billion for treatment. Take the win. Take the win. Unbelievable, ungrateful pricks. Well, abstinence doesn't work. Oh, it does work. If you can't keep it in your pants, that's your personal problem. But if you don't take it out of your pants, you're not going to get it. Unless you're injecting hypodermic needles that are contaminated. You're just not, I'm not going to sneeze on you and give it to you. Ungrateful pricks. Yes, that's right, Momo. Dr. Beetroot, a Soviet-trained wackadoodle physician, like many of the current ones still there, from the Cold War era, said that it's not caused by HIV, it's caused by poverty. People are getting HIV because of poverty. Well, if that's the case, then how come there aren't 1 billion HIV-positive Chinese? If that's the case, how come half the population, well, that's a bad example, but anyway, India, 1.7 billion people. If poverty was a cause of HIV, there'd be 1 billion HIV positive people in India. Instead, they have fewer than South Africa. They only have 7 million. Yeah, these people are just wackadoodles. And they actually ran countries. Look at these idiots running South Africa now. Unbelievable. Thank you for the $10, Mark. And Dogzilla, already got that. Wire passport, they're not expensive, Mark. You're just trying to start some crap. You were here for the discussion. And Napoleon Dynamite has abandoned the channel now, I believe, because his feelings were hurt. I haven't seen him since then. PetFarm money bought BMWs for politics. No, that's not true either, JJ Pretorius. Let me set you straight on that. I administer PEPFAR money. It doesn't go to the government. We don't give money to the government of South Africa for PEPFAR. That's not what we do. We pay third parties to handle these programs, to administer these programs, to run these things. We pay them. We don't give money to the South African government. So PEPFAR money did not go to South African government to buy BMWs. World Bank loans, IMF loans, African development loans, those probably did, but not PEPFAR money. Not 1 cent of PEPFAR money. Folks, I oversaw tens of millions of dollars of PEPFAR money. I established a program in Liberia that didn't exist. I then rebuilt and saved the program in Botswana that was floundering. I went from there. I set up a program in Niger that didn't exist. I set up a program in Mauritania that didn't exist. And then I also later went to Uganda and had a program that was floundering and rescued that program as well. And yeah, so I have a lot of experience working with HIV for a long time. Yep. I'm not even in the medical field. Shandy Low, good morning. Thank you for sharing it. It's my pleasure. Okay, people here do not acknowledge the system. No, people are, well, Americans don't. You know, these ungrateful pricks whining that their food stamps being cut from $3,000 in food stamps. Who the hell are you to get $3,000 in food stamps? Who eats $3,000 a month, even if you got 5 kids? What are you feeding them? Filet mignon and lobster tail? Meanwhile, I'm eating freaking mac and cheese because I'm paying for your crap. Not you guys, those recipients. Art Queen Liza, what's up? Rick Heron is back. And then Loretta says, my apologies for being a bit too much. You are not a bit too much, Loretta. No, I didn't call anyone here out specifically in the stream. I'm just saying in general. Just saying in general. Okay? Not asking anybody to disengage with me. There are people who do send me dozens and dozens of messages every day and then complain that I don't answer them. Well, I'm trying to be polite. You're not getting the message. Ease up on the messages, and things will be fine. Mark says, fascinating topic. Well, Mark, it is. I was in Cote d'Ivoire in 2000, and Ivory Coast is one of those places that at the time had the 2 variants of HIV, HIV-1, HIV-2. There were different variants of the virus. There are tons of them, but this is a very specific thing. So I went there, and it was one of the places with the most prevalent version of the HIV-2, which wasn't found many places. So the Centers for Disease Control had a program there. They were studying the virus, trying to develop a vaccine. We were spending money through the CDC there. I went there to the embassy. Colonel Dan Pike was the attaché, a full colonel. And I had put my plan of traveling, this is in 2000, around the continent, and I said one of the things I want to do is go to the CDC and talk to them about HIV and the programs there for that. So he read my message on my country clearance request and what I was going to do, and he was impressed. And Colonel Pike, I was just a captain then. Colonel Pike had me come in his office, and I told him about that. He said, yeah, I found it interesting. And then there was a guy there who was a major who just arrived. He was African Faye, was his first tour. And he just got in, and he said, I want you to go with Chris. And so we both went there. We sat down, we talked to these guys, the guy running the program, and I asked a bunch of questions about a number of things like CD4 levels and at what stage, this, that, and the other. And at the end, the guy asked me, he said, so where'd you go to medical school? I said, medical school? I didn't go to medical school. You're not a clinician or a physician? I said, no. What are you? I said, I'm an Army intelligence officer. He's like, how do you know so much about HIV in the health field? I said, because I'm an intelligence officer and I look at intelligence holistically. I don't just look at the number of tanks and artillery rounds that are out there. I look at the weather. I look at space. I look at interference. I look at, counterterrorism. I look at counterintelligence. I look at the human element. I look at the environment. I look at all the dangerous things that can affect us, readiness. And, illness is a readiness thing. He's like, wow. Yeah, he thought I was in the medical field because I knew so much about HIV. Yep. Something not a lot of people know, my aunt, who was just a few years older than me, I think she was born in 58, Phyllis, she died from HIV in the 1980s. Around 85, I think she was when she died. She was doing drugs and picked it up from a hypodermic needle. For a long time, people didn't know that. Yep. Yeah, so I didn't know that for a long time. But yeah, it's just that's not where I developed my interest in. I developed my interest in it because it was a operational readiness issue, just like malaria. Something else I pay attention to, and Ebola. Mario Sventer, welcome to you. You're welcome, Mark. Rodan Kranya, the South African government got so used to looting these funds that they totally don't care about their own people. Wasn't this organization called Doctors Without Borders doing a lot of HIV testing? I don't know that Doctors Without Borders did any HIV testing at all. Doctors Without Borders provides medical care in places where things are screwed up. They do wonderful work, but they're a bunch of jackasses, a bunch of assholes. They really are. Médecins Sans Frontières are so full of themselves. They're so arrogant. They're very frustrating to deal with, and it's best just to stay away from them and keep them out of your business. But they do help a lot of people. I won't deny it. It's like Oxfam. Oxfam helps people, but they are such arrogant ass pricks, such arrogant know-it-all ass pricks that they're not worth talking to. Catholic Relief Services, not nearly as arrogant, in my experience. I found them to be quite easy to work with, but most of their budget comes from the U.S. government, so they're probably falling apart right now. Catholic Relief Services is headquartered in Baltimore, Maryland. They were getting like $1 billion a year from the U.S. government to provide services all over Africa. Yep. Good to know if I went to the government, we all know what would have happened. Yeah, you're right, JJ. Exactly right. That's what happened. Well, that allowed them, JJ, to steal other money. That allowed them to steal your tax money because they didn't have to spend money on HIV. So the other money, they stole it. Abstractly, as it freed them from... Exactly, Odin. Thank you. That's exactly what I just got at. It allowed them to steal other money. Yep. I did send you an email as well, so sorry. I just wanted to ask something. I think I answered your email, did not, Philip? I saw your email. It's fine. Don't apologize. Nobody needs to apologize for contacting me. I'm just asking people to be reasonable. I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not your lover. None of you are sexy border mice that I know of, so sorry. Lost your 22-year-old cousin, went into places where... Yeah, Xavier, that happens, unfortunately. Business Tech article, business threatened to double down on BE. It's like an AIDS infection in doing business. Worked on a film in the Ivory Coast. We spent hours lining up canoes in the river. Just as we wanted to shoot the shot, they all stopped rowing. They're in a union at lunch. That's funny. Not old enough to remember that, but my mother said that during the 80s, HIV was a terrifying phenomenon. It was terrifying because the media in Hollywood made it terrifying. First off, in America, very few, well, there's an exception. Let's be clear about this. Anybody can get HIV. It's simply a virus, but the thing is, it's not easy actually to catch it. So, here's a stat that might surprise you. The most dangerous way, other than injecting it directly into your veins with a needle, the most dangerous way beyond that from sexual liaisons is unprotected anal sex. But even with unprotected anal sex, the infection rate is only once out of 50 times. So every 50 times that somebody's doing some butt banging, male or female, only 1 out of 50 times is it transmitted. Of course, you could be the person that has bad luck. First time it happens to you, you get it. That's because the tissues are very sensitive and easily torn in that area of the body. So that's 1 out of 50. It's not an easy virus to catch. That just tells you how often people are screwing each other, is that we have so many people with HIV. So that's one thing about it. Second thing about it is that in America, with the exception of black women, heterosexuals don't typically get HIV. It's not typically spread in America through heterosexual contact, just because of the nature and the cultural way things are done here. Whereas in Southern Africa, the overwhelming transmission method is heterosexual sex, intercourse, vaginal intercourse. That's where it happens. In America, that's rare, except with black women who have a shockingly high HIV rate. And they get it. Do you know how they're getting it? Now, this is going to piss some people off. They're going to accuse me of racist, but it's simply a matter of fact. It's not. They are getting it because a lot of black men are on the down low. And they pick it up from other men, and they're still sleeping with their partners or women, or partners who are women, and they give it to them. So black women have a shockingly high HIV rate. Let me see if I can find a statistic on that. HIV rate in USA among ethnic groups by gender. Okay, if that works. Gender and race. There we go. Okay, and someone just, Dogzilla gave $2. What's the best proven way to prevent pregnancy? Okay. Black men and women have the highest rates of new HIV diagnosis, followed by Hispanic and Latino compared to white individuals. So here's the rate. Okay. Is this from the Kaiser Foundation? Yeah. Okay. Where's the, okay. Okay, here we go. Rates of new HIV diagnosis. That's not what I want. I want the window. Here we go. Kaiser Foundation, which has the best stuff in this. So here's the here is the rates of new infections. Okay, so I don't know what this per 100,000. 41.6 out of 100,000 are black, 23 are Latino, 19 multiracial, 15. I don't know what NHI and HIP is. What the hell is that? Some Native Alaskan, Native Hawaiian. I don't know what that is. White 5.3. The HIV prevalence rate amongst white people is 5.3 per 100,000. Over the U.S., it's 13.3. Asians only 4.6. So yeah, look at that. So blacks, it's over 300% higher. Wow. Top 10 states with the most HIV diagnosis amongst black people: Florida, Georgia, Texas, New York, North Carolina, California, Illinois, Louisiana, Maryland, and Virginia. That's not a surprise, because those are the states with the highest population. Black, gay, and bisexual men account for almost half of black people living with HIV and 30% of gay and bisexual men living with HIV. Blacks make up just 12% of the population. Yet amongst gay and bisexual men, they represent 30% of HIV infections. That's overrepresented across the board. That's just the bottom line here. So here you go. This is the population. So the new cases, 24% of new cases, whites. So 1 in 4 cases, whites. 39% of the new cases are blacks, but they're only 12% of the population. Wow. There you go, folks. Wow. So that's the bottom line. That's the thing about, whoa, what's going on there? That's still on. I thought I turned it off. That's HIV. Yay. Feeding a pet crocodile, you eventually run out of food. Yep. The no phone signal is because of location of farm. Too far from cell towers. Going to try for me to stay temporary at a different location. Gotcha, Loretta. You're explaining what you saw. Yep. I didn't respond to you, Philip. Okay, well, I thought I did. See, that's the problem. I spent 3 hours answering email earlier, folks. What is this? Well, okay. Email from somebody. That's not what I'm looking for. I need to go over here. So. This one. Okay, he just wrote to me again. He wrote to me after the show was live. Of course I haven't answered this one. I must be thinking of someone else. Okay. Maybe I was thinking of someone else with your surname. I think of someone else with your surname. Okay. Yeah, there was someone else. My apologies. I answered that question. I answered. Yeah, it wasn't you. Okay, well, you just sent it to me after 11 o'clock tonight, dude. How am I supposed to possibly have answered your question when I'm on the air? I want to send you a confidential email. Why do people want to send me confidential? What's this all about? I mean, I keep getting things from people, confidential emails. They've got, whistleblower stuff, and most of it turns out to be whistleblower stuff. You can send it to the email. Are there no moderators here tonight? Can the moderator put up the email address? Maze is here. Maze, can you put up the email address? AI assistants to answer your voice. Bruce Almighty style. Same as prison with HIV. Yeah, exactly. In theory, HIV should be eliminated when an unaffected generation grows up. Not happening due to older men having affairs with young women. That's not the only reason. There's people still using intravenous drugs. There's still, it's never going to be eliminated. Yes, refugees can bring their pets. We've covered that many, many times. They just have to pay for it out of pocket. We had a guy on a farm working for us. He slept with a dog. It's sickening. Well, people sleep with goats. People sleep with sheep. People sleep with all kinds of things. Get one of those AI assistants. Okay, let's get to some of the news. We haven't chatted yet. Hello from Durban. I had a friend who had a slow death. It's terrible. Gail, it's terrible. Terrible stuff. A slimming disease. Not good stuff, yeah. It's an evil thing. It just destroys your immune system. And look, I mean, if anybody wants to pretend that everything's life is hunky-dory and, everything's entitled, you're not entitled to anything. Life is competition. Diseases, fungus, bacteria, viruses are out there hunting you, trying to get into your system. Fortunately, we have a very robust immune system, which fights a lot of that off. The only thing we seem to get on a recurring basis, most people, is influenza, although many other diseases get us, assuming you've got your childhood immunizations, protect you against measles, mumps, rubella, things like that. But we tend to have a pretty good immune system that fights these things off, but HIV just destroys your ability to fight disease. That's why people will wind up with odd things like Kaposi's sarcoma, disgusting, because it's something that the normal human immune system defeats it. But it's always there, and it winds up happening when your immune system's weakened. Women will get thrush. It's terrible. Terrible stuff. Anyway, I don't want to talk about disgusting stuff. But yeah, that's PEPFAR. We talked about it. So Australia, the land where men are men and sheep are nervous. Living in end times. South Africa in a nutshell. Yikes. Okay, I did have a few things here that we need to talk about. First off, the Democrats are seizing in the Epstein files. I know many of my viewers are all excited about the Epstein files, and maybe some of them stopped watching because I'm not inclined to talk about salacious, twisted, perverted sexual things on my program. Sorry if that offends you, and maybe you should go watch someone like, I don't know, Alex Jones, who's obsessed with this, or Candace Owens, or, even the Hodge twins are obsessed with this. But they don't seem to care at all about the attempted assassination of Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th of 2024. That seems to miss their heads completely, gone right over all these so-called MAGA supporters and so-called conservatives and true patriots, not understanding that history was changed that day, and it could have been changed in a bad way had that assassination attempt been successful. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I mean, if it just been a slight difference, Trump could have been hit in the head, not died, and been as brain dead as Joe Biden, and then never been president, or he could have been killed. But all they care about is Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. They're playing right into the Democrats' playbook. So the Democrats now are bringing the playbook on Epstein. And here's what I think Trump should do. Just release it all. Just redact everything that's salacious, the kids, the child porn that you don't want to release, just basically cover it all up, cover up the voices and let them guess what's in there. And, then they've got nothing to say. But these people are sick. They're like a dog with a bone. Like a dog with a bone. All they want to talk about is pedos because they've all got this sick, twisted fantasy about pedos. Democrats seizing the Epstein files as a campaign issue and a chance to rile Trump's base. Well, if you abandon President Trump because he's not releasing these files, I will tell you that you're not a true conservative. You're not a true patriot. And I'm sorry if that hurts the Hodge twins fans or all these famous YouTubers. If that hurts your feeling and all these famous TikTokers and all these people who get all this attention that don't merit it because what have they ever done? If that bothers you, too bad. Because you are obsessed with a pedo. But you weren't obsessed with a pedo for 4 years when Biden was president. Epstein died in 2019. Thank you, George Steinbeck. Where have you been, George? We haven't had a report from Heckport in a while. I talked about Heckport the other night and all the idiotic people moving in there and ruining it. Thank you for the 140 Rand. This obsession with Epstein. You didn't have this obsession for 4 years when Biden. I didn't hear any of this bullshit about release the list. Where's the list? Where's the list? Why weren't we talking about this every day then? This is a distraction. You're not asking for the report on why the Secret Service failed. Why are none of these so-called conservatives concerned about the fact that the FBI had information, or not FBI, excuse me, the Secret Service had a credible threat to the president's life at that event, information 10 days prior to the assassination. If he'd been assassinated, we would have been told it was an intelligence failure. Just like January 6th, just like 9/11. These weren't intelligence failures. These were political failures, intentionally holding information back from the people that need it. The Secret Service team on the ground protected the president. They did not know that there was a credible threat to his life by a third party, not this Thomas Crooks clown. But it doesn't matter. Had they known that, their posture would have been very different, one suspects, unless they wanted him dead, which we begin to wonder if that's what the Biden regime was up to. But that day, Secret Service agents who should have been protecting the president were protecting Dr. Jill Biden in nearby Pittsburgh. You can't make this stuff up, man. You can't, I mean, you watch the movie Brazil, it's not this crazy. This is a distraction. And these conservatives, these MAGA supporters are falling for it. Absolutely falling for it. All right, Dogzilla, just because you give super chats doesn't mean you can't get punished. Warning. Next one. Time out. All right? The Jonas bombshell went off yesterday. Yeah, exactly. Well, the DA brought that out. Now they're denying it. They're attacking it. I'm going to talk about that. I got to make a video about this. The ANC is just becoming quite evil here, folks. They just lie to people all the time. 6 were fired this week. A year later. Nobody's been held accountable. Fired. People should be in prison for withholding that information. That was intentional. That was malicious. And that only happened just now. Don't act like that happened a year ago or 3 months after the event. I'll try that. Nice try, Holden. Mark says, I'd like to believe that the majority of regular people see the release of the Epstein client as bringing Lady Justice back to apply to everyone. How so, Mark? How so? Epstein's dead. Ghislaine Maxwell's in prison for her crimes. Who's Lady Justice confronting? Are you restoring the people who were harmed, the girls who were harmed? Well, there's an estate. There should be civil suits, and hopefully they get some restorative justice that way. But the lists, what do you, so you believe there's a list? You believe what the Democrats have told you, that there's a client list? Is that what you believe? Let's pretend there is a black book and people's names in it. That doesn't mean they engaged in sex with minors. That doesn't mean they went to Epstein Island. If they went to Epstein Island, if they didn't engage in sex with minors, what's the issue? I mean, honestly, you're all making something out of this. You have no, I mean, this is all speculation, and people are losing their minds over speculation. There is no speculation about Butler, Pennsylvania. It happened. A president was shot in the head and barely survived. And the Secret Service failed. They failed to coordinate with local police. They failed to secure the site. They failed to protect the lines of fire. They failed to do their job. The shooter got off 8 shots before he was taken out. And he wandered around the site for an hour, plus before that. Nothing happened. That's real. I don't give a crap what Dan Bongino told you. Dan Bongino, the guy who promised live streaming on Rumble for 3 years and didn't deliver. If you can't deliver, don't make a promise. The guy who promotes nobody except his friends. If you're not famous when you go to Rumble, you don't grow. It's as simple as that. That's right, Flying Dutchman. That list won't change my life, so you can carry. It won't change mine either. But knowing what happened in Pennsylvania and the degree of cover-up that likely occurred in the Secret Service, in the U.S. government, I mean, where is this anger from the Hodge twins and from all these MAGA crowd? Where is the anger about silenced voices? I'm angry about that. My channel was taken away over bogus stuff that I never did by a corrupt company that got away with it, acting on behalf of the federal government. And nobody went to jail. Nobody's been charged with a crime. That is a far greater threat to all people than Epstein. He's dead. If he was still alive, okay, great. Look, if you guys want to hear about Epstein, that's great. That's wonderful for you. But I'm asking you, where's the outrage over Butler? Where is the outrage over the federal government violating the First Amendment of the Constitution by using third parties as agents of the federal government to silence our speech in violation of the First Amendment? Where's the outrage? Where are the criminal charges? If you want to be mad at Pam Bondi, that's what you should be mad about Pam Bondi about. You should be mad about that. You should be mad about 2020. They're not even mad about 2020. They're not even questioning what happened in 2020. They're just all excited about Epstein. And okay, I'll accept that. But where was that excitement for 4 years? For 4 years, Joe Biden was president. For 4 years. We didn't hear any of this whining about an Epstein list. There was no demand for a release of an Epstein list. People are just frauds, man. You have to be consistent. Yes, but Green Mamba Multipass. Several people came in my chat and told us that he had been arrested. The great Tosh had been arrested. Remember that? And I said, that's not true. Myriad 8, I do not care about this Epstein thing. All the people I've talked to just tell me they see people like Hillary getting away with. Yeah, okay. And the government's Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, James Comey, they have all gotten away with this stuff for years. They work in the government. They're far more dangerous to you. Same thing happened in Franklin, Nebraska. What's that, Holden? We aren't allowed to paste links to other creators in your WhatsApp groups other than yours. Huh? That sentence doesn't make any sense to me. We aren't allowed to paste links to other creators in your WhatsApp groups other than yours. That's not true. Who said that? What are you talking about? That's an allegation. Come clean. What group? What are you talking about? I don't understand what you're saying there. You have to have something called proof. That's factually not true. I can look in the WhatsApp groups that I own, and there's all kinds of things. Let me go find one right now. People post things in there. What's the WhatsApp group? Hang on a second. Let me find one that I own. This one's one that I own. Truth and Perfumes posted something in the group. Ghanaian national apprehended, possession of hundreds of international passports. Hendo posts, of course, Truth and Perfumes. Well, Truth and Perfumes is very busy here. Posting a lot of stuff in my group. Who's this? Somebody posted a lot of crap. Who is that? I can't even see who it is. They just got crazy here. Well, maybe people got turned off because of this. But it's not even telling me who posted. There's like 100 freaking posts here. What the hell is this? That's abusive. That's abusive. You don't. These aren't places for people just to post their joy here. Wow. I still haven't found out who posted this. I've gone up like 5 pages, links here. Okay, I don't know who this person is. It's Erica. Erica got a little carried away there. Okay, so that's not true. My groups, people can post. Here's the member. CB posted something here. About the only one posting is CB in that group. Keith Alderson posted something there. Lynn Duplessis. So I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about. You see, I can't answer questions like that. Oh, my WhatsApp been spanned forever, Rudolph. That's why I set up the Refugee group so that nobody could put anything in them, because I knew that would happen. There should be a mass investigation done to find out who contracted the shooter. Hey, Mr. QB, where's the outrage over that firefighter? Yeah, exactly. Well, but that's not going to change anything. It's 1 year anniversary of Butler, and we still don't know. But exactly, Mark, that's what I'm getting at. Distractions, leftist media, and very little truth. Sometimes I wish people would just wake up and smell the issues. Exactly. Necro Crux says you have to have something called proof to be able to convict or accuse someone just because there might be names in a book. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that's the thing. Let's pretend that there is a black book, okay? Let's pretend there's a black book, and let's pretend there's names in it. The fact that your name appears in somebody's phone book doesn't mean you did anything. The fact that somebody might have gone to Epstein Island doesn't mean they participated or had anything to do with anything. I mean, you could have very well have people who were, trying to get into the sphere of a wealthy and influential person to get money for a project, to participate in something, to get them to invest in something, or they were wealthy and trying to curry him because he knew people who were influential, and so they were invited. They went there. They flew down in his private jet. They went to the place. They saw these young girls, skimpy outfits, like, no, this isn't for me. And then they didn't do anything and they left there. Does that make him guilty? No. So, having a little black book, what's that going to tell you? Oh, that doesn't tell you anything. So, I mean, again, but look, it's this Epstein thing. We're already wasted half an hour talking about it here. See, that's how stupid it is. Sunlight being the best disinfectant means that releasing everything on Epstein would stop the conspiracy theories. No, it won't. No, it won't, Casper, because Trump released the JFK files, and we got more conspiracy theories than we ever had before. More conspiracy theories. He released the JFK files. It doesn't stop this stuff. And released the Epstein files. Well, that's not all of it. They didn't release it all. Oh, they did it. It's just, dude, people just want to be aggrieved. It's a grievance culture. It's not going to change it. Couldn't believe people saying Trump set up his own. I mean, look at all the morons from Loving Life who actually believe that I work for the CIA because that idiot told them that. I lost people I had interviews with because they actually believe that BS. People can be really stupid at times. They really can. You want to believe that? Give me some evidence of it. You know? When have I ever flown business class? CIA flies business class. And by the way, if you don't, well, how do we know what you fly? Well, my first trip to South Africa in 2022 after the COVID scam, when I got on the plane in Atlanta, there were like 40 people in that plane that recognized me. Nobody recognized me now, which is kind of odd now that I'm even better known, but they're like 40 people. Hey, because I was standing there talking to somebody about 2/3 way back in the plane, in my seat, and I said, yeah, no, I retired from the Army. I do this broadcasting thing now, and I'm kind of a minor celebrity in South Africa. A lot of people seem to know who I am. I don't know if it's true. They're all telling me that. I guess we'll find out when I get there. And then, well, hey, it's the Colonel. Hey, guys, it's the Colonel. Unbelievable. Yeah. So. Hey, Ray Courtier. Sorry to have to go. Sorry, Loretta. Okay. Deleted my links and told us he's deleted and told me not to various times. Okay, again, Milk and Honey. Who is he? What group are you talking about? And the fact that your posts were deleted doesn't mean you're not allowed to post. It maybe means that you were posting something you shouldn't post or you were spamming. So, again, you're giving me a portion of a story which I can't react to. Give me the facts. I can address it. If you want to send me an email to detail what happened, then I can look into it. But just sending me, a sentence making claims why can't we post any links in your groups? Then you know what, Milk and Honey? Then don't be in the group. If you're not satisfied with it, don't be in the group. But I don't know what group you're talking about. I don't know when it happened. I don't know who did it to you. So I need that information if you want action, rather than just complain about it. I mean, if you want me to help you, you have to help me help you. Okay? Yeah, thank you, Mr. QB. He's long gone. Left one group because Eric also attacked me a few weeks ago saying she started the group. But anyways, well, again, C. Golda, that's not my group. Erica started the group. So I get blamed for this bullshit all the time. So I don't even know if he's talking about one of my groups. He could be. He might not be. But I get blamed for this crap all the time. I have nothing to do with most of this stuff. There was also DC Madam as well. Mayflower Madam. No, she didn't kill herself. That's 25 years ago. All right, I warned you, Dogzilla. I warned you. You just cannot. You can't help yourself, can you? You can't help yourself. Ten-minute timeout. I warned you. The girls were all rescued. Nobody was dead. Just abused. You're well recognized here, sir. Everyone I know talks about you. I love speaking to people. Thank you, Ray Cordier. That's kind. Good morning, Xavier. Who cares? Okay. Anyone can post links. They're just not clickable. Only links from mods are clickable. Again, Utopia, I don't know what you're talking about, which group you're talking about. Anyway, look, if people's feelings are hurt, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you can't come in my group and complain, or come in my chat and complain about something and give me half a story or a third of a story or a tenth of a story. I can't take action on people making claims. To me, that's just an effort to disrupt the chat over here. That may not be your intention, but that's the outcome of it. Yeah, help me to help you. That sounds like one. Anyway, Democrats are all over the Epstein thing now, and so are conservatives. House Speaker Mike Johnson has weighed in on this. He joins a growing number of Republicans pressing Trump for more transparency in the Epstein case. But the Republicans were not pressing for this for the past 4 years. Some of Trump's most loyal allies in Congress aren't satisfied with the decision to not release additional files, and is threatening to deepen the MAGA divide. 14 Rand. Thank you, Bets Corp, for that 14 Rand service. So then they should be able to identify perpetrators if there's any. There was unverified reports Trump helped FBI. Children doesn't think it's a waste of time. The world is in shape due to untouchable Politicians, Israel has by the balls. Okay, 3D Vision, thank you for that. That's not helpful. That's just conspiracy theory nonsense. Thank you for sharing that. Well, an Irish tourist was jailed by ICE for months for overstaying his visa. So once again, when you claim the Trump administration is racist, it's not. If you overstay your visa, just like any other country, you're going to pay a price. The salad days of skipping your tourist visa and hanging out in America for years on end are over. For roughly 100 days, Thomas says he faced harsh detention conditions despite agreeing to deportation. A 35-year-old tech worker and father of three from Ireland came to West Virginia to visit his girlfriend last fall. It was one of many trips he'd taken to the U.S., and he was authorized to travel under a visa waiver program that allows tourists to stay in the country for 90 days. He planned to return to Ireland in December, but was briefly unable to fly to a health issue. His medical records show he was only 3 days overdue to leave the U.S. when an encounter with police landed him at immigration. From there, what should have been a minor incident became a nightmarish ordeal. He was detained by ICE in 3 different facilities, ultimately spending 100 days behind bars with little understanding of why he was being held or when he'd get out. Nobody is safe from the system if they got you pulled into it, he said. Despite immediately agreeing to deportation when he was first arrested, he remained in ICE detention after Trump took office and dramatically ramped up immigration arrest. His ordeal follows reports of tourists and visitors with valid visas being detained by ICE from Australia, Germany, Canada, and UK. That's actually a lie, Guardian. They weren't valid visas. These people had overstayed their visas. Every one of them. You're lying, you're lying, you're lying. So the arrest appeared to be part of a broader crackdown by Trump administration. Of course, that's a lie, too. He was arrested before Trump became president. You see how they just try to blame it on Trump? He was arrested and detained and put in the system by the Biden administration for overstaying his visa because he's from Ireland. So this bullshit about it all being racist and only people of color is nonsense. Stupid stuff. Wow. So they try to make it into something else. Well, the people being detained, sent to Guantanamo Bay. You're not being sent to Guantanamo. This is bullshit. The Guardian is not a newspaper. It's a propaganda outlet. All right, well, you guys can keep talking about that, chat, and the subject. I moved on. Well, I did a video earlier because the South African government decided to tell people that there's no coup. Of course there's no coup. What are you talking about? They decided to share that there are risks of a coup, but it's okay. We've got it under control. Now, only an insecure government would do this, looking for attention. Yes. Minister of Presidency Kumbutsu Ntshavheni assured South Africans of their safety despite potential coup risk, with measures already in place to mitigate threats. What? What? Amanda Koza says, in a shocking revelation, Minister in Presidency Kumbutsu Ntshavheni. Now, you'll remember her, Kumbutsu Ntshavheni. She's the one with the disgusting smirk on her face, putting her nose in the air the entire time that the Kill the Boer song was played in the Oval Office. This is a woman who has no regard for South African life based on her conduct. She thought it was humorous that video was being played. She assured the nation the country's sovereign integrity, that citizens are safe, and that the cluster is monitoring the matter closely. Really? So she came out and said, the country is at risk of a coup. We have no indication there's a coup. There isn't a coup, but we're at risk. Don't worry. We've taken measures to protect you, like you did in July 2021 in KwaZulu-Natal and in Soweto. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, it's like blowing on a fire before it's even started. Exactly. It's trying to draw attention. What it is, it's a pretext. It's a pretext to crack down on people. There's also this thing circulating about, Facebook and YouTube and social media. If you say something about the government officials, they'll arrest you. It's all tied together, folks. It's all tied together. They are preemptively prepping the ground to take away your freedom of speech. Only thing that makes sense to me, okay, Hey, Arctic, there you are. Good to see you there. You deserve the recognition you received. We love you and are grateful. Well, thank you, Vera. It's very kind of you. Not everybody loves me. Some people's feelings are hurt. There's no need for your feelings to be hurt. No reason for people to... by the way, Milk and Honey, I'm still waiting for the answer to that, buddy. Please tell me which group it is. I'm serious. I'll look into it. But you haven't told me. Did I miss a message from Milk and Honey? Let me go back and look and see. No, I didn't. I haven't missed anything, have I? No. Huh. History was changed on November 6, 2020. There's Milk and Honey. Okay, that was where he said it. No, Milk and Honey, please tell me what group it is so I can address it, okay? I'm serious. I'll address it. You just got to tell me that, man. Can't address it if you don't tell me. Can't address it if I don't know. College of a young Trump at a party and said it showed that Trump oogling ladies. Well, yeah. Well, that's a sin. Oogling ladies as a young man. Oh, please, we'd all be in prison. Yesterday, some other cancer grifter suggested arrest if anyone speak. Yeah, exactly. My boyfriend always says offense is taken, not given. Exactly. Take away freedom of speech. That's not good. Hey, Erica Yablonsky, how are you? Stop posting anything in WhatsApp groups. All said things removed, which was put there. So now I read. Well, if there's abuse going on in the WhatsApp groups, you don't tell me about it, I can't do anything about it. There were people complaining about being removed from a group back in early June and complaining about Eric. And I went and looked at the messages that were deleted, and they were deleted with good reason. They were deleted with good reason. Hey, Mike, how's it going? In Pennsylvania. Yeah, of course Trump, well, he didn't sponsor him. He owned the Miss America pageant. That was his property. That was his business. He owned that. All right, folks, the bad news for Jasper Wiese. His stupid, foolish, indisciplinary moment of butting heads in the Italian match has cost him 4 games. He's out. He's out. Jasper Wiese is out for 4 games. This is the decision of the World Rugby. South Africa's Jasper Wiese has been suspended for 4 matches for a red card offense, contrary to law 9.12, striking with the head. The red card was issued against Italy on the 12th of July. The committee chaired by Roddy Dunlap, joined by former players Jimmy Corsi, Ali Cohn, in accordance with the remit to expedite off-field sanction process trial operational in July. International sanctions are proposed in line with Appendix A. Right. All right. He can appeal it, but for now, he misses July 19th against Georgia, August 16th against Australia, August 23rd against Australia, and September 6th against South Africa. Well, there you go, folks. That's not good. That's not good. So Jasper Wiese is out. That was a very dumb decision on his part. If coup were to rise, why would the group threatening to take out the current government advertise? Well, they wouldn't, Erica, but what could happen is the government could have human intelligence sources inside of a group that indicate something's happening. They could have identified somebody purchasing things like fertilizer in inordinate amounts, then they start investigating it. They could have intercepts. They could have picked up something from a criminal investigation that's tied to a potential coup. There's lots of ways to find out about this sort of activity. But the point is that there is no such activity. They're just trying to frighten people. That's what it is. Yes, they're playing Georgia in Nelsprut on Saturday. I'll be covering that game. Made the banner for it earlier. Yeah, the headbutt. It was a dumb headbutt. It was a dumb headbutt. Well, Ramaphosa is now attacking the Democratic Alliance, accusing the DA of using a foreign state to affect policy changes in South Africa. This is not going well for the DA. Not going well. The presidency and the DA are engaged in a public spat over the status of Mcebisi Jonas. This after the presidency called out the DA for suggesting that Jonas had not started his duties since his appointment earlier this year, as the U.S. had rejected his credentials. Amid clearly heightened tensions between Ramaphosa and his government and national unity partners over the axing of Andrew Whitfield last month, the president accused the DA of positioning himself as part of a right-wing nexus. Of course, whenever a racist wants to attack you, you're right-wing or racist. That's what it is. There are tickets left. 72% are sold. That's disappointing. I know it's Georgia, but Georgia has cool uniforms. Did you notice the 10 seconds preceding the incident? Oh, yeah, no. Oh, look, Xavier, I know. I said at the time, watching the replay live, I said, I saw the fight before that, and I didn't even see Jasper Wiese do the headbutt because I saw the Italians started. Oh, yeah, no. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Xavier. That's why I said there should have been a yellow card for the Italians in that incident as well. They precipitated that, and he was stupid. He fell for it. Yep. Do you have The Last King of Scotland in your bookshelf behind you in YouTube plaque? Settling my curiosity. No, I don't. The red back book. No. Talking about this one? Wow, Dogzilla, you just don't learn, do you, man? You just don't learn. You don't learn. Dude, what is your major malfunction? What is your major malfunction? Honestly. You're pushing for, you're pushing for a ban on the channel. I mean, I don't, super chats are lovely, but you're just being silly. And no, you're not putting that filth in my chat. Stump tickets, yeah, 150 Rand. I mean, but that's too expensive. It's too expensive. 150 Rand, my goodness, folks. 150 Rand. That's dirt cheap. I know some people don't have that kind of money. Trump admin has only been in power for 6 months. The swamp is deep and they're using their deep state tactics against and the art of war interfere. Exactly. That's my point here. And some people quit watching my program because I'm not talking about Epstein. What do you want to talk about Epstein? We just wasted 45 minutes on it. At 18 to 1. Yeah. So, yeah, 18 to 1. It's not even $10, Mark. I looked at the USA Eagles match, okay? You want to see what that cost? To watch a team that doesn't win is going to get slaughtered by England? You want to see that? All right, USA match, okay? Here we go. I'll tell you what that cost. July 19th, a game I consider going to. Until you see what these tickets cost. You ready for this? Audi Field. Okay, it's loading up. $30 is the cheapest ticket, and there are none of those. Okay? People saying 150 Rand is a lot. Okay, so here you go. The cheapest seats, that's section there. At the end of the field, you can barely see $30. Okay? That's already 3.5 times what you pay to go for the cheapest seat at the Springboks, the top rugby team in the world. All right, so let me show you what a decent seat costs. $234. There's only 10 tickets left. $234 to sit there, midfield. $234, folks. That means for that seat at Audi Field, which is a tiny little soccer stadium, $234 times 18 is 4,200 Rand. So in order to see the game, I have to pay 4,200 Rand. Let's try to find something a little less expensive, like over here. Oh, it's only 129 there. So down around the 22-meter line, it's 129. Here it's $32. Here it's $468. $468. Let's see what that is. 468 times 18. That is 8,400 Rand to go to a rugby match against a team that doesn't have a winning record and has never won anything except the America's Championship and the World Cup 100 years ago, or the Olympics 100 years ago. Wow. Yeah, so again, it's... Hang on a second. YouTube's acting up again. The tickets off for free this Saturday. Unfortunately, due to prior engagements, can't make it. Gave seats up to a friend. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, usually Mobile seats are very inexpensive. Just reminded me someone is selling the book about American Sniper Kyle. Yeah, I didn't watch the movie. Yeah, Holden, the Biden administration made 600,000 children disappear into our society. Where are those kids at? I don't think we won the first soccer. Did we win the first soccer World Cup? It's possible. I don't know. I don't like soccer. But anyway, Ramaphosa is attacking, the ANC is attacking the DA for being right-wing. Wow. Presidency blast DA over claims Nkabisi Jonas was denied U.S. visa. President Ramaphosa's office has cautioned South Africa against treating the DA's disinformation on matters of international relations diplomacy as official government policy. Wow. Wow. This comes after DA spokesperson for international relations, Emma Powell, claimed that the U.S. had denied Nkabisi Jonas a diplomatic visa. Powell claimed the U.S. rejected Jonas's credentials, even though special envoys do not need to present credentials as required of ambassadors and high commissioners. Actually, that's simply not true. I don't know about high commissioners. That's inside the British Commonwealth. That's different. But a special envoy does require credentials. Ambassador Don Booth, my ambassador when I worked in Liberia, and later I ran into him frequently in Ethiopia because he was the special envoy for Sudan, South Sudan, and he had to have credentials and present his credentials to the government in Khartoum and the government in drawing a blank right now, Juba. Later, he became the special envoy for Sudan, and as far as I know, he still has that position, Ambassador Don Booth. He had to present his credentials, diplomatic credentials, to those governments. If you're a special envoy, that's what you have to do. What Vincent Mangwenya in the government of South Africa in the Office of the Presidency is trying to convince you of, because they're playing language games here, is the special envoy doesn't need to present credentials. They don't even need to go to the country that they're being an envoy for. So the word envoy implies something. You interact. You cannot interact officially in a diplomatic sense and be protected by the Vienna Conventions with another country unless you have credentials, diplomatic credentials. You must present them. Special envoys and ambassadors must present their credentials. Not every other diplomat, but they do. So Vincent Mangwenya is gaslighting you. He's trying to denigrate Emma Powell. Not standing up for or against Emma Powell or the DA. I'm just telling you how things are. What Vincent Mangwenya is trying to convince the South African public of is that essentially Nkabisi Jonas is a special advisor to the president. Well, you don't need any credentials for that. You don't even lead South Africa. You could just go whisper in the president's ear, yeah, you should do that. You shouldn't do that. That's a special advisor. That's what essentially the role that Nkabisi Jonas is filling. And by the way, how much are you paying him for that? Because it ain't working. Whatever Nkabisi Jonas is sharing with the president of South Africa, it ain't working. Y'all remember that Oval Office visit? It ain't working. Wow. $8 for a ticket. Yeah, that's cheap, but they go up in price. Yes, they do, Rudolph. They do. But my cheapest ticket was $30-some. Did they make a comment about African tariffs? I didn't see that. Maybe did. Yeah, these clowns don't know what credentials are. You're right. Well, South Africa is facing an uphill battle, the Daily Investor says, and they're right. They're right. Even if South Africa were to solve all its problems locally, the weak global growth environment will make a turnaround far more difficult. Alan Gray, director of Jathan Pillay, recently outlined some of the factors weighing on South Africa's growth and reform efforts. He explained that South Africa wants to ease its social and economic challenges. The country needs to grow its real gross domestic product meaningfully. Yeah. Of course. Growing at less than 1% per year puts you behind inflation, so you're smaller, puts you behind population growth, which makes you even poorer. That's how the ANC has led South Africa to over 30 million poverty-stricken black South Africans, when that's more than triple the number when the National Party ran the country. 150 buys you 7 kg of potatoes. Where are you buying 7 kg of potatoes, Brand? And you getting that in a tuck shop? That's a good deal. DA voted to change to protect farm today, and the Sandra, what are you talking about? Where are you seeing that at? Grady Mantasha has been appointed as the temporary police minister. This guy can't handle minerals. You think he's going to handle law enforcement? Oh, good Lord. That's insane. Cyril Ramaphosa, Jonas, MTN, Iran. Yeah, that's one reason why he probably wasn't palatable to the United States, is because of the MTN saga. But I think it was his comments from 5 years ago that did him in. South Africa is doubling down on its destructive policy, says Sean Jacobs. Yep. South Africa's poor economic growth, rising unemployment, and declining quality of life are largely due to the government doubling down on losing policy positions. Yep. South Africans instead have become poor, and the country's social outcomes have deteriorated, while the peers in other emerging markets have enjoyed a rapid rise in the quality of life. Yep, this is feedback from Becky Mahlobo, an economist and partner of Franz Kronia Private Clients, who outlines some of South Africa's repeated own goals. Yeah, well, I mean, look, I can answer this question. We don't need Franz Kronia's financial services. I can tell you why. I mean, it's very clear, folks. It's obvious. It's because of racism. It's because of Jan van Riebeck. This is a legacy of apartheid. Apartheid has teeth. It's still biting. It's still reaching from the grave and impoverishing black people and causing economic disparity and stuff. Did you guys not know that? Is that news? You guys didn't know that apartheid was responsible for all this? Did you guys know that? I mean, it's true, right? I mean, we hear it every day from the ANC. I mean, it's apartheid. I have it on good authority that Jan van Riebeck is behind all of this, folks. Jan. Yeah, Jan is behind all of this. It was him who started all this. Yeah. And I understand that there's a cabal of people from the AWB and the Broederbond and Disney who all worked. Oh, I'm sorry, not Disney. That's a different grouping. Anyway, they all worked together to impoverish black South Africans because, well, they're racist. They're white supremacists. You guys didn't know that? Is that news to you? I mean, That's, I mean, the spatial dispensation, the apartheid, the ban to education, the unfairness of it all. I mean, that's isn't that it? Isn't that, I mean, that's what the ANC tells me. Cyril's currently the second richest black individual in South Africa, stating that he's a great businessman. He's never started a single business. He was handed equity and everything, and he's not achieved anything. He's not a great businessman. Not a great businessman. Yeah, Jan van Riebeck in Disney. Yeah. Did you like that, Erica? Yeah. Yeah, no. I hate the Colonel with his wee bitty eyes. Yeah, the Colonel. Yeah. How can you hate the Colonel? Because he puts a secret addictive substance in his chicken that makes you crave it fortnightly. The Colonel, the Gettys and the Rothschilds, they go to the meadows. Yes, Jan van Riebeck had a larger navy than South Africa in the 21st century. That's true. Zapiro, yeah, that's it. AWB, the Broder Bunt, and Zapiro are going to overthrow the government. Yeah. Poor old Jan. Seems it would have been better off sailing past the Cape. I think you're right. Poor guy. I forgot the Nazis, yeah. Well, they're everywhere. They're ubiquitous. Grady's part of the old guard. Many of the MK are cut from the same cloth. So they're hoping that he keeps things intact for the next 2 weeks. Hey, Derek. Milk and Honey, come on, man. You're going to tell me which group it is so I can go figure it out, or did you send me an email? If you send me an email, that's fine. All right. Rossi Erasmus defends his controversial decision to look down his nose at the Italians and try that little cheeky act of intentionally knocking the ball on to get a scrum, only for it to backfire in his face as the Bucks engaged early at the start of that game. Yep. South Africa's head coach Rossi Erasmus gone on the offensive this week following his side's antics of the weekend, accusing the Springboks opponents Italy of feeding in the scrum. Rugby's greatest innovator unveiled his latest brainchild this Saturday at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium during the kickoff, where fly-half Monty Libbek intentionally kicked the ball short to Andre Esthuizen to force the scrum. This latest idea has not been wholly popular, with the Springboks being accused of cheating online. While Erasmus entered the storm that he's created online Monday, posting an X video of an Italian put in at the scrum with this message: I guess one can always argue what is against the spirit of the game. Some teams avoid scrums, others make sure they get scrums. Who's wrong? That's funny.
Bind! Set!
Yeah, there you go. They avoid the scrum. Oh, Rossi. Bach rule benders are changing the game. They deserve respect. Interesting. This is crazy. I'm expecting Ashton Kutcher and Jan van Riebeck come out of the cameras and say, you've just been punked. That's funny. Living the end of times. Did you say that earlier? Somebody said that earlier. 100 ANC caterers plundered approximately 40% of the country's total wealth and stuffed in offshore accounts. Yep. I buy according to specials at Spar, Checkers, Pick and Pay. Well, you're smart. You're frugal. I do the same thing. They charge $7 for a bag of crisp here. These people are insane. I'm not paying $7 for a bag of chips. I'll pay $2.50. If I'm desperate, I'll pay $3.50 on sale. But I wait, and then they have these sales periodically, and then you get 2 bags for like $4 or $5, and I go for that. Yep. A friend of mine complained his kid got 0 in history test because his kid could not answer when Jan van Riebeck died. Jeez, he said he didn't even know. He was sick. Yes, Anderson Cooper is a Vanderbilt. That's correct. Yep, his mother is very famous. Gabi, good morning to you. How is it going in the Schweiz, man? It's been a while. Trump threatens very significant sanctions against Russia. I don't know what sanctions he's got left to pull out of his quiver. Biden put most of them out there. They will be very, very powerful and very bad for countries involved. He warned against secondary sanctions. Trump upped pressure on Russia to stop killing in Ukraine within 50 days, warning Tuesday that his threatened economic penalties against Moscow and its trading partners would be devastating. Yesterday, he said he would impose secondary tariffs of 100% on countries that still trade with Russia in an effort to force the Kremlin to the negotiating table with Ukraine. A bill by Senate Republican Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut, has 85 Senate co-sponsors, would authorize the president to impose secondary tariffs of at least 500% on goods imported from China, Brazil, and India. Wow. I mean, okay, if that happens, the U.S. economy is going to be in trouble. That's going to affect. First off, we get our toilet paper from Brazil. We get all our coders from India, and we get everything else from China. So that's going to suck. He did a lot in those 10 years. He sure did, Elsie. Great Montage, the point is acting. Yes, we covered that, Sandra. Good grief. And here we are in South Africa complaining when chips are now 20 Rand a pack. Yeah, exactly. $7. $6.99 at the supermarket. Yep. Some young... Oh, by the way, the raspberries that cost double what they were 3 years ago before Biden. And they are a third the size they were. So it's really like 6 times the price. There's a saying, but there's no inflation. There's a saying that this is the price it was before Trump came in office, by the way. There's a saying that don't worry, it can get worse, then reality raises its ugly head. Oh no, everyone in this team is now running out to buy toilet paper. Maybe. Senate Republicans narrowly advanced Trump's $9 billion spending cut. Senators said they would remove $400 million in cuts to PEPFAR from the rescissions, which targets foreign aid and public broadcasting. Senate Republicans voted tonight to advance a package of spending cuts proposed by President Trump as they race to pass a measure by Friday. The $9.4 billion rescission package, which seeks to claw back previously approved funding for foreign aid and public broadcasting, passed 51-50 with President Vance. And the three traitorous Republicans voting against it: Susan Collins, primary her; Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, primary her, she's a trust fund baby; and Mitch McConnell, he's a fossil, primary him. All members of the Appropriations Committee joined with every Democrat in voting against it. Wow. Earlier Tuesday, Senate Republicans and the White House agreed to make a significant change in the measure as they sought to secure a simple majority needed to pass rescission through the chamber. They plan to remove about $400 million in cuts to PEPFAR. So now they're not going to cut PEPFAR. There's a lot of interest among our members in doing something on the PEPFAR issue, so that's reflected in the substitute, said John Thune. They're still going to cut $9 billion, most of it from foreign aid. Slash $1.1 billion for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which funds PBS and NPR. Thank you. Those socialist garbage propaganda outlets will no longer receive our tax dollars. Yep. Investigate Pizzagate with Anderson Vanderbilt. Apparently Putin did a U-turn on Iran's nuclear ambitions, advising them to accept a deal with no uranium enrichment. Really? Going to need a bigger boat, says Holden. There's a new fridge for $5,000 until Sunday, but it's going up the regular price, and it's high cents. That's Chinese. 4-year warranty. We got 48 loo rolls on special last week. Hey, Lynette, how's it going? I'm waiting for the embassy website to change the travel alert from 2 to 3, and it will come. Well, the embassy updates that, but it's Washington that makes the decision. The Pentagon is removing 2,000 National Guard troops deployed to L.A. U.S. military presence in Los Angeles is being reduced by almost half as Pentagon confirms 2,000 National Guard members are being withdrawn from the mission to protect federal buildings and personnel. Thanks to our troops who stepped up to answer the call, the lawlessness in Los Angeles is subsiding. As such, the Secretary has ordered the release of 2,000 California National Guardsmen from the 79th Infantry Brigade Combat Team from the Federal Protection Mission. Nearly 4,700 personnel have been provided at the mission, with 700 of them being active duty Marines, the remaining being 4,000 coming to the California National Guard. Yep. So now they're done. The California National Guard is done. These are the 10 states America's best quality of life, according to CNBC. All right, and so they factor in crime, air quality, cost, and availability of child care. And then, of course, they try to do the LGBT thing, too. Consider legal protections for workers, protections against discrimination. Yeah, okay. All right, they're saying the best place to live, Virginia at number 8. I don't agree. Virginia's overpopulated, and except in the Shenandoah Valley, it's not that fun. 2.6 million people packed in just 1,300 square miles north of Virginia is certainly crowded, but it often doesn't feel that way. Yes, it does. It feels very much that way. The air quality is very good, generally good. No, it's not. But child care can be scarce. They got 167 out of 265 points on quality. Nebraska tied with Virginia. I've been in Nebraska. It's kind of boring. Only 3,372 violent offenses in 2023 with 2 million people. They're healthy, have the lowest incidences of mental and physical disease, and second lowest rate of drug deaths. Child care is scarce. Nebraska has just 864 licensed child care centers. Well, that shouldn't be a key concern. Quality of life is something that people in retirement care about much more than younger people for the most part, so they're not worried about child care. 167 out of 265 points. Massachusetts, number 8. No, Massachusetts is a cesspool. How in the world can Massachusetts be considered a great place to live? Number 1 in primary care doctors, mental health providers. Not to mention number 2 for dentists. 167 points. North Dakota, now that I could believe. No state offers more accessible and affordable child care than the Peace Garden state, with 462 licensed child care centers in a state with fewer than 800,000 people. A 2-income household making a medium income can expect to spend only 9% of their money on child care. Add the fact that the crime is low and the air is clean, you get a relatively stress-free environment, but it's freezing there. Yep. North Dakota ranks 40th on the Oxfam scorecard, meeting just 3 of the 16 criteria organization sets for worker protection. So it gets 171. Hawaii, overpriced, located near nobody, with all kinds of racial issues, and Hawaii is ranked high. Yeah, I'm not buying that. 173. Connecticut. Now, Connecticut is overcrowded, leftist. No. Notice these are all leftist states. They put almost all conservative states on the poor quality. Now they're saying the best states are leftist states. Utter nonsense. I haven't seen one state that actually is a good state to live in. Minnesota, not buying it. New Jersey, one of the best states to live in. Oh, please spare me. This is a Islamic fascist center right here in New Jersey. Have you been there? Maine, lovely state, beautiful, but also a leftist. And they're saying Vermont is number one. Vermont's very good. I wouldn't say it's number one, but they only give that 228 to 265. Yeah, Vermont's lovely, but number one, I don't know about that. Central Pennsylvania and Wyoming. 500% tariffs won't be the tide to raise the ship that has holes in it. Captured MSM. Yeah, I think so. Good morning, Yard Vessels. Carlos Fredo, what's going on, man? Good to see you back. I'm going to check my email. Maybe Milk and Honey sent me an email. Nope. Didn't send me one. Shaquille O'Neal threatens Robert Griffin III, the former NFL quarterback. Yes. Shaq threatens Robert Griffin III over Angel Reese post. I'll punch you in your effing face. Shaquille O'Neal is beyond furious at Robert Griffin III of his comments on Angel Reese. RG3, tweet another monkey post about my girl Angel Reese, and I'm going to punch you in your effing face. Monkey post. Wow, isn't that a little bit racist there, Shaq? Wow, it's enough. I usually don't do stuff like this, but just stop it, bro. Isn't that racist? Calling him a monkey? In the post, Griffin reiterated his previous statement that Reese hates Caitlin Clark and wrote that people in Reese's inner circle called him and told me I was right. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. O'Neal, who has had a close bond with Reese dating back to Chicago Sky Forward's days at LSU, made his feelings and situation abundantly clear. You got your job. You got your podcast. Leave my Angel Reese alone. I'm the one calling her, telling her not to respond. Effing stop it. That's the last time, okay? It's a shame that all the stuff you did in your life, you're going to be remembered for your podcast, O'Neal added. That should tell you that you're not effing great. I don't want to be remembered for Shaq's big podcast. I do not. Leave those girls alone. O'Neal added that Griffin III has no G14 classification to make comments. I would respect it more if Lisa Leslie said it like that's women's basketball players, O'Neal said. Stay out of people's category. Oh, my goodness. Shaquille O'Neal. He's losing it. He's losing it. My view in Kansas and Arkansas. Arkansas is a poor state. Kansas is lovely. Monkeys don't look down at people. Withdraw that comment. Travel agent time. Whew, man, it's warm in here. Anyway, there you go. So, hit the like button, folks. Hit the like button. I'm cooking in here. Did the temperature go up? No, it did. It went up 1 degree. The aircon must not be working, or I don't have it set low enough. How was your raid, Houston? Hot, humid, and it was, for a long time, the murder capital of America. Not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. Live in the streets in Hawaii who were given plane tickets there and want to leave but can't as they have no work or they money to do so. So a lot of druggies live in parks. I haven't seen that, Karen. Bit late today watching from beginning and wow. Sounds like more harassment than spam. Yeah. Estelle's laughing about something. Anyway, let's make a coup song. You guys ready for a coup song tonight? I haven't made any songs tonight. So we make a song? Let's make a coup song. Okay, let's do dance techno. Okay, let's see. Thought you'd go with gangster rap as genre. Actually, that might be good rather than dance upbeat. I'll try it in both versions. Okay, let's see what we get here. Here we go. Creating the song. I'm using more of my credits this month than I used previously. You get 2,500 credits, and it takes 10 or 20 credits to do each song. This came up with folk. I said dance. It gave me folk. Okay, let's see what happens there. We'll do the gangster rap when we're done, but it's giving me a folk rhythmic percussion. All right, let's listen.
The streets hum loud, the air feels tight. Rumors swirl like smoke at night. Was there a coup? They ask a pride. No coup, just clouds in the sky. No coup, just a shadow play. Words tossed around to keep fear at bay. No coup, don't believe the tune.
I don't like this.
Dance of whispers under the moon. Flags still wave, the sun still burns. The wheel of talk takes endless turns. A flicker of power, a game of doubt. No coup.
Yeah, that sucks.
The streets hum loud, the air feels tight. Rumors swirl like smoke at night. Was there a coup? They asked their pride. No coup, just clouds in the sky. Woo! No coup, just a shadow play. Words tossed around to keep fear at bay. No coup,
They're saying coup, not coup.
Just a dance of whispers under the moon.
Coup.
Flags still wave, the sun still burns.
All right, those aren't particularly good. I need to put in here coup d'etat because you're making a coup d'etat. Coup d'etat. Did it work? I need to change what it is. Okay, so let's change this to rap is what I want. Okay. All right, now we try it again. Those sucked. Yeah, that surely sucked. That's got to be the worst one we've done yet. That just sucked. No coup in sight. Let's see how this sounds. See if this is better. Lives in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, most friendly people and love the farmers markets. Yeah. I was in Amish country yesterday. 3 hours driving through the rain. Oh my gosh. That was horrible. I had to turn around 5 times because roads were washed out by flood. All right, here we go. Male vocals, percussive, rhythmic, folk, hip hop. Folk.
No coup d'etat, no flags unfurled, just whispers creeping through the world. A shadow moves, a lion sleeps. The veldt is quiet, but the ground it weeps. Posturing high, their voices loud. Thunder rolls, but there's no crowd. No coup, they say it clear. No reason for the world to fear. Just a dance, just a show. No coup d'etat.
Because I'm putting the right words in, Xavier. That's okay.
A curtain drawn, the stage is bare.
That's all right. Let's try this one.
No coup d'etat, no flags unfurled, just whispers creeping through the world.
These aren't going to my Spotify.
Moves, a lion sleep.
Yeah, those suck, man. A holeless bucket chance is much huge better. Essentially, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's kind of, we got to go back to something that actually works.
Cyril the waffle man stands in the haze. His words like syrup in a sticky maze.
This one's a hit.
Bleeds like a noodle, limp and wet, promises made, but none are met. No backbone, no fight, falling shadows in the night. Cyril the waffle man, where's the plan? Spinning circles, no solid stand. South Africa drips, no rudder, no hand. Cyril the waffle man, where's the plan? Poverty creeps, it's a thief in the dark. Empty pockets, no spark, no mark. Crime's a beast with 1,000 teeth. It bites, it scars, no sweet relief. No backbone, no fight, falling shadows in the night. Cyril the waffle man, where's the plan? Spinning circles, no solid stand. South Africa drifts, no rudder, no hand. Cyril the waffle man, where's the plan?
Cyril the Waffle Man, much better than No Coup in Sight. That one didn't go so well. Didn't like either of those versions. Yeah, the Jellyfish Sway, that's a great one too. Some of these are really good. Yeah, no, I've got, I loaded 2 more of those songs on last night onto the Spotify and onto all the other websites. There are 23 services that my music gets loaded up onto, including Apple Music, the iTunes, and then Amazon, Spotify, Shazam, Dweezer, and a bunch of other places. So yeah. Yep. Going to be a legend. So such a good song. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, no, it sounds a lot like Sade, and I love the saxophone. That's good stuff. Ask for your credits back. I think so. Loretta says your song always played. Yeah, the Colonel on the mix again, coming to us from the other side. That's right. Radio Afterlife. That's right. It's Radio Afterlife. Yeah, so that was, we got to come up with a better one, guys. I mean, we have to have a song for tonight. What's tonight's song? We need a song. So we need an upbeat song. It's something cool. Things that are going well. Got to say something well. We did the Springbok song. That was pretty good. Jellyfish Way is awesome. I love that one. Man, good stuff. Anyway, yeah, so I hope people weren't offended. Well, we lost a lot of people here. I guess they're running off to work now. Yeah. So earlier we were chatting about the Epstein stuff, and then also I think it was Milk and Honey was saying that he's not allowed to post links in my WhatsApp. Again, I don't know if it's my WhatsApp. You didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me who did it to you, and you didn't tell me when. I really can't investigate and check into it. I get blamed all the time for other groups. People make me admins in groups. I don't even know I'm an admin in that group, you know. I just start receiving stuff. So I'm happy to look into it, and no one should take offense when I ask you serious questions. To me, if you ask a question and then you don't follow up and answer when I ask you a question so I can clarify it, then you're just trolling. So anyway, my patience with people spouting nonsense has gotten slim. Just ask Dogzilla. Dogzilla, I warned him. He got a timeout, and then he came right back and started spouting nonsense. And so he got another timeout. And he gave me 2 super chats tonight. Super chats It doesn't guarantee you you get to say silly things in the chat. I'm not accusing Milk and Honey of saying that. And I also didn't accuse Napoleon Dynamite of that. But Napoleon Dynamite has just disappeared now. And I guess Milk and Honey is gone too. Sorry to see that, folks. Shame. Shame. Do you know the Muffin Man? That was great stuff, man. Remember that? Holden has a question about logistics. Well, I'm not a logistics expert, but I'll try. Program radio station said only males can apply. Well, that's lame. That was a long time ago. Son loves your Bugger Off Bunny song. Always comes to ask me to play it. That's cute, Loretta. There's a legend. Well, that's very kind of you, Francis Ruiz. What's your question, Holden, about logistics? I will try to answer it as best I can. Juna Crawford, welcome to you. Welcome to you. Yeah, Arctic is an expert on smuggling dwarves. I can attest to that. He's an expert. Hey, check this out, guys. This is that $187 PC that I bought. Look at that. Fits in my hand, weighs nothing. I wish my damn air conditioning wasn't so expensive. Yeah, so yeah, you got two USB 3 ports on the front for peripherals. You've got two back here. You've got two HDMI, so you can hook up two monitors too if you want to use it for business. There's the power connection right there. It's a Pentium chip and with 1 terabyte of solid-state hard drive in here. It's insane. Just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, and you even get mounts here, so you can mount it on the wall. Pretty wild. Now, at a big-ass NAS drive to do that thing for backing up all your media, 12 terabytes. Yeah, I need a 20 terabyte hard drive. I have lots of 3 and 4 terabyte hard drives full of videos. Yeah, and full of information. Yeah, I need a. I thought about having a storage router here, but good night, Cycling Journeys. Take care. Mini PCs are fantastic workstations, easy to take with you and travel. Yeah. Yeah, I look, but they're just too expensive. When one of these 20 terabyte drives comes down to about $250, I'll buy one. I used to use Seagate hard drives, but I've never used one of these cloud storage devices. So, I mean, the only place you can really look for that stuff and find what you're looking for in one place is Amazon. So let's just go to, let me go to Amazon real quick and see what we got here. Amazon. Okay. By the way, Amazon Prime was lame. Ugh, lame. Prime days were lame this year. All I bought was some seasoned DVDs, and they weren't that great a deal. And not many. Last year I spent more money. So let's see. So I want... okay. That's not the word I want to put. I want to put home. I put cloud storage server. I meant home server. Whoa, 76 terabytes. Where the hell was that at? That was massive. 1 bay disk station. So I guess you can slide disk in at 104. That's just a bay. 4 gigabytes, 219. That's not enough storage. And these are Chinese crap. 4 bay. 2 gigabyte. 4 terabytes. 4 times 2 terabyte with hard disk drives included. $609. 8 bay all solid state NAS server N95 quad core CPU, 8 gigabyte of RAM, $600. Heat sinks included. Wow, that's a lot of storage. I don't need that kind of storage. I said home cloud storage. Now here's a Buffalo Link Station, 4 terabyte. It's a regular hard drive, so works as a home cloud or network storage device for home. But 4 terabytes is not much, folks. I mean, I can eat that up pretty quickly. It goes too fast. $400 for that one? Too much. Too much. So what I do now is just use small ones. Western Digital 4 terabyte, My Cloud Home Personal Cloud. Is that the one you're talking about? It doesn't have very good rating. It's 3.8. Here's an 8 cloud, Ultra Network Attached Storage. 4 terabytes. Amazon doesn't even have it. They're searching for where to buy it at. 8 ones. So how much is this? Doesn't give a price. See the price for server quotes I'm sending out now. That's still inexpensive for now. Stay away from cloud storage, unraid, and you have total control. No, I'm talking about my own cloud, Arctic. I'm not talking about going to cloud source. I'm talking about my own server. Xavier out of here? Okay. Take care. Seagate makes 10 terabyte drives. Can be daisy chain. Okay, Primal Borough. Buying options. It's not, they don't have it here, so when they're buying options. There are no buying options. Why they even have it listed? There's no buying options. That's just annoying. They do that crap, Amazon. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, so the tickets for the USA, that sucked. Way expensive. Where is the day PCs came out 40 megabyte hard drive and we thought it was the greatest? Now terabytes not. Well, Fred, my first hard drive, I told this story for my IBM PS2. That first hard drive I purchased. It had OS2 and it had Windows on it too. Came with both operating systems. But that IBM PS2, that didn't have a hard drive. All it had was 3.5-inch floppies. So whenever I turned it on, I had to load the operating system floppy that I wanted to run, put it in there, DOS originally, load it up, and then go from there. I bought a hard drive from Hard Drives International in Tempe, Arizona, when I was at Fort Huachuca in 1989 as a lieutenant. I paid $319 for, get this, you're talking about 40 megabytes, a 20 megabyte hard drive. $319. And DOS could not recognize a drive over 10 megabytes. So I had to partition it into two 10 megabyte drives. How do I find all my videos and files? Well, I have a naming convention, Garrett. How's it going, man? Haven't seen you. You've been busy. The nuke that you have is not bad at all. Okay. So I have this one here. This is a crucial. How many terabytes this one? This one's pretty good. That's a solid state drive. And I just plug it in. It works great. And what's this one? Is it 2 terabytes? Yeah, this is 2 terabytes. Crucial. Yeah, that's 2 terabytes. That one's got a lot of space on it. So I just plug these in, and that's where I store things. I have lots of different drives. I buy the best one I can buy. So let me try this Crucial. See what I can find there from Amazon. I didn't even look at that. Crucial X8. $4 terabytes. They make them 4 terabytes now. 4 terabytes is $269. USB-C. Oh, they have different suppliers. Okay, you got it for $229. X9. Well, that's even better. X10. Oh, it's faster. The X10 is faster, so that's cool. Anyway, those are kind of handy to have. But we got a threshold. We've kind of reached a limit right now where they're doing these things. You know, you don't get much larger than this right now. That's fast. I'll put that in my save for later. Okay. Niku Mostad. Why do you want me to pronounce your name? What's that all about? Niku. I'd say Nico, but it's Niku. Storage goes super quick through the 20 terabytes. Yeah. How much more fuel is it going to cost to double the time and distance to resupply fleets? Holden, what are you talking about? Resupply fleets. There's obviously a question that preceded that. I haven't seen any question. Why are you talking about fleets? Our carriers are nuclear powered. Carriers nuclear powered. Yeah, the planes aren't. Yeah, and what are you going on about, man? How will losing the Red Hill facility in Hawaii affect the non-nuclear? Oh, okay, that's where it started. Okay, I didn't see that. I don't have an answer for you on that one. R5000 on Amazon. R5000. Oh, that's how much it costs. Ran 5,000 for that. Okay, sorry, you're not giving a model. You're talking about the cost, guys. Sorry about that. I misread that. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully nobody's feelings were hurt tonight and disappeared. I thought I was pretty kind, but I am still curious. Milk and Honey, you're not. If you're here, if you could let me know what group you're talking about, man. I can't take action unless I know. Okay. So Niku Mostad, why did you want me to pronounce your name? G3K plus mini PC on Amazon 150. Okay, well, this is the GMK Tech. Let me read the specs on this one because I just bought it. Let me see. Amazon, let me go to my orders. Oh, wait, that was supposed to... Oh, that's arriving today. Okay, hang on a second here. All right, so this is specs on this. Okay, it's Windows 11 Pro. Wow. Intel mobile CPU, 3.6 gigahertz, 16 gigabyte cache. 16 gigabyte RAM, 1 terabyte of solid state drive storage. Ethernet. 4K dual screen display. Wi-Fi 6. Wow. That's incredible. I mean, for $187. That's crazy. It's just crazy. Yep. Yeah, they have them with 12 gigabytes and a smaller drive, but I got the 1 terabyte. Wow. Yeah, I'll get some sleep here shortly. Thanks. Asta Esterhuizen. Well, I pronounce Nico, but you're saying, I don't know what you're saying. Niku. What was Nico is what you're writing. Again, the problem for that is that Yako is pronounced Yaku by South Africans. So anyway, whatever. Why do you want me to pronounce your name? What is this? Is some sort of setup? 1 megabyte of RAM. Wow, that's incredible. What's for breakfast? I don't know. I'm hungry myself. I'm hungry. Oh, I did get some pistachios. I'm going to eat some pistachios tonight while I watch a little bit of TV. Lonnie, you're very late. We're going to wrap it up. Yeah, stiffy is not the same. It's like, I'll give you my stick. It doesn't work. It works in Afrikaans, but not in English. Not in American. And we don't say a brekkie. That's some South African thing. We say breakfast. Hey, Maddie's late, but I'll watch the whole live. Thank you very much for that. No music. We played the music already, Xander. Where you been? We even played some crappy songs. We made a song tonight. It was sucked. 2 versions was terrible. So we're not going to post those. All right, guys, I'm going to hit the rack, okay? Wednesday's a busy day, as always. And my aircon has been repaired. Let's hope it's working. It hasn't come on in a while, so have a good evening, Marius. Appreciate it. You guys take care. Thanks for being here. I appreciate everybody. Be sure to hit the like button, and we'll catch you later. Bye-bye.